Don't forget to check out the Twitch live stream every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/X underscore UtterChaos underscore X. Now on to your featured video.
Welcome to the Week in Review. I am your host, Ace McTavish. And as we head into the final 2 months of the season, this means the final 10 matches of the Premier League. Manchester City hoisting themselves in the pole position in March and added a bit of breathing room as they look to win back-to-back titles. In opposition to March, the month of April brings a lot of travel for the Sky Blues. Norwich City, the first to stop of the month. Scoreless in the first meeting this season, Norwich anchoring the table should mean a good result for City. That is exactly how things started. The ball makes its way across the field. Silva plays along to Fekir, and he puts it past John Ruddy. His third of the season. 19 minutes in, it's 1-0. It wouldn't be long before the lead was doubled. De Bruyne leads Nelson beautifully, and the finesse finish from the Scot gives him 13 goals on the season and a comfortable lead at half. A third City goal would put this match to bed, but Norwich pull one back. Musacchio earns a yellow card and gives away the penalty with this tackle, and Oliveira getting his fifth of the season from the spot. The finish is an EA FIFA special. Tim Leibold on the far wing, steps on it, whipping in a cross that finds the head of Robbie Brady. Norwich come back from 2 goals down to equalize in added time. 2-2 the final. Manchester City only 2 points against the worst team in the Premier League. Making their way from Carrow to Vicarage Road, Watford were the next to face City. 2-0 to the Sky Blues in the reverse fixture, and there's still a 7-point gap at the top as Palace have hit a tough stretch. Fabian Delph continued his fantastic form, getting his 6th goal just 9 minutes into the match. Aguero picks up an assist. City would add a second in the dying embers. Nicholas Otamendi getting his first of the season, just looping this header over Pantilimon. And 2-0 is the final. Staying in the approximate area, City looked to do the double over Spurs in their trip to White Hart Lane. Man City looking for their 3rd win over Tottenham, having won the reverse fixture 1-0 and went to pens in the Community Shield. Tottenham unlucky not to have the lead at halftime as Eric Lamela misses a nearly empty net, hitting the post just before the whistle. It would be another first for City. Bruno Zuccolini making the most of his first appearance. Mahrez hitting the post himself, and the youngsters there to put away the rebound. City take the lead in the 57th minute. Another EA special finish. Lamela gets redemption in the 90th minute. It looks like the defense does the job, but Bailly gets the cross off, and for the 2nd time in 3 games, the AI comes back to pull level with the last kick of the game. 1-1 the final, and I'm absolutely nauseous. The Sky Blues will make another trip to Italy, this time to face Napoli in the first leg of the UCL quarterfinals. The match ended up scoreless. The two would face off in Manchester after another visit to London. This time it's Crystal Palace. Still first and second in the table, Palace needing a repeat performance of their 2-0 victory at the Etihad. No score deep into the second half when Nelson down the left wing spins inside and is taken down from behind by Joe Ward. A step or two inside the area, no card issued, but Kevin De Bruyne puts the spot kick away. Nelson was taken off with an injury. Peniranda adds a second, his 3rd of the season, ripping this cross from Breel Mbolo. So each team winning 2-0 on the opposition's home field. Nelson's injury was not significant and returned the following match, a second leg Champions League quarterfinal matchup, Napoli visiting the Etihad. PSG, Dortmund, and United all leading their respective ties 2-1. The injury bug strikes again. Nelson walks off in the 25th minute. His replacement would step up. The volley from the edge of the area, and oh my, Saint Maximin with a rocket for his first goal in what I believe is his first appearance, and that was special. City trying to hold on. Napoli would not be denied. 83rd minute, Lopes sends in a cross to find the head of a diminutive Lorenzo Insigne, and that knots everything up at 1, and Napoli have a crucial away goal. Napoli weren't finished, adding a second minutes later. Lopes, the recipient this time, he makes Musacchio look absolutely silly, and that's a 2-1 lead. And in a wild finish, Fekir would actually level things at 2 on the final kick of the game. It wouldn't matter though. The 2 away goals push Napoli into the semis, while Manchester City out at the quarters for the second straight year. Nelson's injury would see him out of the next 4 matches, and those matches would leave mixed results. An FA Cup semi-final versus Manchester United, where both sides picked up an early first half goal. It would stay that way through 120 minutes, and City would prevail 4-3 in penalties. A 2-2 draw at Middlesbrough was followed by a 2-1 loss at home to Manchester United, and a 2-0 victory at Stoke City rounds out that injury stint on a positive. City wrapping up the title with 3 games left to play. Manchester City returned home and looked to avenge an early season loss to Chelsea. Nelson shined in his return, 23rd minute, taking the pass from Aguero, faking out David Luiz, and just crushing it near post. Perrin getting most of it, but it's just too hard. Chelsea pushing for a late equalizer and would find it from the corner. Mahrez tries to clear the danger but takes out Angel Correa instead. Eden Hazard steps to the spot and hits the worst penalty I've ever seen. But Joe Hart doesn't budge. 1-1 the final. Nelson gets his 14th goal of the season. The home finale was a scoreless draw against Sheffield Wednesday, leaving the season finale a trip to the Emirates to take on Arsenal. 0-0 in the reverse fixture. The Gunners jump on top, 29th minute. Somehow Danny Welbeck comes out of this scrum and just lets one fly. That sails into the upper right. Welbeck's 9th goal. Nelson is bitten by the injury bug once again, substituted out in the 74th minute. It would go downhill from there. Ramsey releases Welbeck, and there's just too much pace. Crosses on the floor. Oxlade-Chamberlain wide open to make it 2-0. Welbeck adds his 2nd of the game, 10th of the season. A photo negative of the previous goal. 3-0 defeat to cap off the season, but it's back-to-back Premier League titles for Man City, Nelson winning his 3rd in a row. And for the 2nd time this episode, Nelson returns from injury. The immediate next match, it's the FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium versus Tottenham. A respectable 4 points earned against Spurs this season, in addition to the preseason Community Shield. And normally matches versus Spurs are close battles, and this one was an exception. The breakthrough came in the 38th minute. Aguero gets inside the box, 2 defenders covering, and he passes on to Nelson, and he just floats it over everyone, making it 1-0. Then just before the halftime whistle, De Bruyne looking for a pass, flips it into Fernando, and that is a nice volley finish past Lloris. It's 2-0 at the break. Just over an hour in, Fabian Delph beats 5 Spurs with 1 pass. Peniranda one-on-one with Lloris, and Lloris loses for the third and final time of the match. Manchester City win back-to-back FA Cups. So as this celebration runs on, let's go over some of the end-of-season results. Arsenal win the Europa League 3-0 over Celta Vigo. PSG get one past United to win the Champions League. Real won the Madrid derby in the UEFA Super Cup to start the season. Newcastle United win the EFL Cup on penalties over Crystal Palace. And of course the double by City over Spurs in the two finals they matched this season. Looking at the other leagues here, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, and Norwich are relegated to the Championship, while West Brom, Sunderland, and one of Brighton, Fulham, Wolves, QPR will be moving on up. The best of the rest include PSG in France, while Monaco and Lyon are honorably mentioned there. Bayern are kings of Germany, with Leverkusen and Dortmund close in on their heels. Juventus win the Scudetto again, with a litany of possible destinations right on their heels. And last but not least, it's the big three in Spain, led by Real Madrid. As we move and look at the European Championships, Scotland draw into Group C with Poland, Romania, and the Netherlands. A difficult group, but Scotland get off to a good start.
I can do that.
10 minutes into the match versus Poland, Nelson tackles the ball away, takes it upfield, slips a pass on through to Watt, and he buries it in the far post. Tony Watt adds a second, a little over 10 minutes into the second half. Ryan Gold, unselfish in front of the net. 2-0 the final, and that's 3 points to get things started off. And that would be the highlight of the tourney, as a 1-0 loss to Romania and then a 2-1 loss to the Netherlands would bring an end to the championships for Scotland. It also brings the official close to the 2019-2020 season, and it wouldn't take long for the new season to bring some change. Days into the new year, Bayern Munich are the first to extend an offer, and Nelson wasn't waiting around, joining the Bavarians and reuniting with former mates Rui and John Stones. And we'll just scroll here looking through. It's one of the strongest squads in the game, and this really could be Nelson's chance to win Champions League. As you see there, strike force of Lukaku, Lewandowski, and Higuain. I cannot wait to get started in Germany next episode. But that is going to wrap up this one. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you do, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next week.